friends. Welcome back to Double Crossed, another episode. Happy to be here with you. I'm your host, Dan, at 2 inches short. From the internet, this is co-host Dave, at Golfing Jokes, also from the internet. I got some big news to talk about. Going to get right into Tiger Woods. Thankful for Tiger Woods taking a swing. Tiger Woods now comes out, press conference. Dave, let's get into this. This is tremendous. Let's first check in with you. How are you doing, buddy?
Good, man. Happy to be here.
Yeah.
It's been a busy week, but got some Tiger sighting. It was good to see you talk yesterday, and yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, well, when Tiger speaks, we will be doing a podcast shortly after. So because we are going to talk about it. But yeah, so Tiger Woods comes out, gives his first press conference since his near fatal car accident, first time in 9 months in the Bahamas.
Well, for first live press conference.
First live press conference.
Yeah.
Sorry, should say first live press conference. I mean, it is his tournament at the Hero in the Bahamas. There was, however, a video conference with Golf Digest, did an interview with him for 30 minutes. Which is also pretty telling. So we got to hear a lot.
I feel like the Golf Digest one was more telling than the live press conference.
It was almost like a regular Tiger presser, to be honest. A little different, obviously, but yeah. So yeah, maybe let's get into Golf Digest first. I mean, there were some interesting things there. I mean, they did it was basically a 30-minute question answer session. Tiger comes out, basically says it's probably going to be unrealistic for him to play the tour full time anymore.
And I mean, that's a given.
Yeah, well, the thing about it, dude, it took him 5 back surgeries, 5 knee surgeries, and a almost died in a car accident just for him to be like, yeah, might have to, restrict my playing schedule a little bit. I mean, that's why he's the GOAT. I mean, but this was going to be, he compared it to like a Ben Hogan situation where he's going to have to pick and choose. He's not going to be able to practice. I mean, he even said he's like halfway he's not even halfway recovered, and we're talking, master. It kind of makes us think like, I don't know, Dave, what's your take on what we've been doing?
For starters, I'm pretty confident that Tiger is downplaying the expectations. Like, obviously it's going to be a limited schedule. I know he said he doesn't ever see him making the climb back to the top. And I feel like he means, number 1 ranking and all that. But he also said, hopefully he can maybe clip off a few, which, win a few tournaments here and there, hopefully.
Few Masters.
Yeah. But yeah, I feel like he's downplaying his expectations, which is perfectly understandable. And, he's obviously smart for doing that. But obviously, I think most people who have followed him and even people who know him, like Noda even said, yeah, I don't believe it. And I mean,
yep. He's being realistic. I think he's trying to be as realistic as possible. I mean, he came out and said he's at peace with where he is if he never played again. He started talking a lot about Charlie, things like that, where, it seems like he's happy in his life. I mean, it sounds like that, but if he's able to compete, I saw it was like a quote. He said it was like, we went around, we had a family talk.
Yeah.
We said if all things went well with the leg and it was a possibility to go,
give it another go.
Would we give it another go? And there was a resounding yes. So I mean, there's that. But I mean,
he's going to give it a go. He's going to give it all he has, and that's expected. That's just who he is. He fights. He battles, and I think if like I said, I'm more concerned about the back than the leg. I feel like the leg will heal.
Well, you got to be a little bit concerned about the leg because the leg has like circulatory and like nerve things that have to like actually. I mean, he was telling
for sure.
There was a chance he was going to walk out of there with one leg if he even made it out of there alive.
Yeah, when he said that was pretty eye opening. I mean, when he said it was like 50-50, it was on the table,
Legitimately, you never know kind of what could happen with these things because everything has to go right. I mean, Tiger generally, I mean, I think since that, since what was his knee that he just didn't even care about, right? And
I mean,
took
yeah,
way longer to heal.
knee injuries are a dime a dozen. They kind
well,
of.
I think these things taught him a little bit about his body and how he approaches it. And I mean, I think it was.
Well,
it was
he's probably a master rehabber at this point. Like,
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, part of his rehab is putting, and he lengthened his Scotty 2 inches to kind of get that feel. And I did another thing that I want when he was asking like his girlfriend and his manager and everything
about
like,
the ball, if he
throwing
still has
things.
his hands, yeah.
If he still has his hands, and he's like, I have my hands. Like, this is crazy. I mean, the fact.
Well, I mean, he even said back when he had his back surgery, he's like, as long as I still have my hands and I can make a swing, I'll be okay.
Yeah.
Because I think, yeah, like his hands, he has these crazy, insane feels that 99% of us will never know. And
more than 99%, like 99.8%.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, and it's good to hear he still has his hands.
Yeah, I mean that was tremendous. Yeah, so they were asking him to throw a tennis ball or anything that they had available so that he can see really, like, is the coordination still there? Like what is going on? So, I mean, from a physical standpoint, he said he's not even half at 50% at this point. I think that's a realistic.
I feel like the hardest part is going to be the stamina.
Is it 50%? Is it less than 50% of him making recovery, or is it less than him making back on tour?
I don't know. Kind of maybe a bit of both, I would say.
Because he was like,
kind of hand in hand.
I don't know if I'm gonna play again on tour, but like, if
he's
healthy,
100% he is. I feel like, and he'll get there. I mean, Masters may be premature, who knows? But I'm still willing to bet he'll be at Augusta
in some capacity, or
definitely in some capacity, but I think playing.
Okay. Well,
that's
we'll
what,
see.
4 or 5 months from now.
4 or 5 months. 5 months from now, April.
Yeah.
Right?
I think he'll be ready to go, and I still feel the PNC is might be happening.
A possibility.
Yes. Because there was
we didn't tell, we really didn't like advertise the fact we broke that news. Basically, like, you were telling people like, hey, you might play the PNC. We broke that on Double Cross. Wanted to tell you that.
Well, also they asked Noda about it today, and he's like, yeah, it's definitely an option. People would love to see it, because Charlie's going to hit all the tee shots. Right. Tiger can hit wedges, he can putt, he can chip, he can do all that. So, and also there was 2 empty spots, and JT and his father just joined today. So there's 1 more spot. Obviously, Tiger, Charlie paired with Tiger, or JT and his dad, like last year.
Yeah, he was saying some high praise about the Thomases.
I feel like Tiger's kind of taken JT under his wing, like a little brother almost. And I think they're really close. I think out of all the guys on tour, JT and him are probably the closest
of the young
guys. Yeah. Ricky too. I feel like Ricky's right up there. Mm-hmm. But definitely.
Congratulations, Ricky. Had his baby, right? I heard that. Good stuff.
And he had a baby. Spieth had a baby not too long ago. JT just got engaged. So they're all growing up
right in front of our eyes.
Yeah.
It's kind of insane to think we're 9 months later and Tiger was given a dry sense of humor, really kind of monumental kind of press conference, State of the Union, if you will, I'd like to call it, about where he's at. And it just sounds like, he's been through this enough times, but this one sounded like it.
This was different.
I mean, he sounded like a different person, right? Like, I mean, it's just, there were,
I feel like because the other ones were, they were injuries. They weren't like bad injuries, but I mean, they were bad injuries, but they weren't near life death experience, right? This was. So, I mean,
right.
In a blink of an eye, could everything be gone, never see your kids again, everything. So it is eye-opening for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and you know, it's also crazy is, you know, Phil's winning majors at 50 years old, playing Champions Tour, PGA Tour at 51. Tiger
Yeah.
at 44, having to play a limited schedule,
How old is
like
he?
you
No,
know,
he's how old is he?
45.
44?
I'm sorry,
Something
45.
like that. Something like that. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. I mean,
playing a limited schedule, and
yeah.
I mean, granted, it's probably, I mean, he probably should have been doing that from the very beginning, and you know, he could have just, you know, focused on whatever he wanted. But I mean, now it's an opportunity. I mean, I've been an advocate of Tiger playing just the Masters the rest of his career. Like, I'd be fine with that
Yeah.
as long
I
as
mean,
he's, you know, healthy and ready to go. I mean, also they open at St. Andrews, which
yeah.
I personally think that's where, you know, he's gonna compete. That's
Yeah,
my thought.
that's
I don't
we'll
want to
see.
get too crazy. Although
Yeah.
Southern Hills, he's won a major there. We were talking about this. We're already plotting where Tiger's
Well,
going to win it.
he was also talking about, you know, the distance, you know, who knows if he's going to lose some distance with this injury. You know, and as big as these courses are these days, that might be you know, a factor in how much can he compete at that highest level if he's going to lose all this, you know, maybe 20 yards, who knows. So he's all about.
I don't think 20 yards would affect him. It would affect
It,
Tiger the less, like the least out of any player if he lost 20 yards, I think.
oh, for sure, because he's so good with his irons and long irons and all that. But
Right.
I mean, he kind of threw out there, you know, I wouldn't be opposed to the, you know, shortening these
forward.
courses or play forward or rolling back the bar, whatever.
Well, speaking of these different, you know, different ideas,
and to be honest,
within the game, yeah.
I really hope they do roll back the ball or something, just to kind of
just because of Tiger,
just for him. Yeah.
Well, and also it kind of brings up the other thing where it's like, you know, what if Tiger was like, I can play, but I can only play if I take a cart. Like
he will never do that.
Well, I mean, he would never do that.
He would never do that just because of his own ego.
Should the tour offer that to him?
Maybe they will, but I guarantee you will never see him. Yeah, at the PNC, yeah, I can see him in a car just because it's one of those, you know, not official tournaments, blah blah blah. But in a regular event, he will never take a cart.
Yeah,
especially after what he said about John Daly taking the cart to PGA. He'll
right.
never do it. He'll never do it.
Well, that was before he, you know, almost didn't walk out of a hospital.
Doesn't matter. He won't do it.
I'm just saying, just throwing out the idea. So I think I saw Steve Scott, who he's very familiar with Tiger Woods, you know, in the U.S. Amateur, who told him to move his mark back. And of course, I don't think Tiger would have won that the U.S. Amateur. But anyways, I think I saw that on Twitter. He posted about proposing that question about Tiger taking a cart. Like, should the PGA Tour offer it? So, you know, yeah, I kind of agree. Tiger's probably he's a man of principle. But you know, he
won't do it.
Like, what if everyone took a cart? What if they take carts and they play in 3 hours? Yeah. Like, why not? Or bring rangefinders, or bring, you know, do something.
Rangefinders should be allowed for sure. I mean, that's just silly to me why they aren't. But yeah, the carts won't ever happen.
I don't know, man. I think I want to see like one tournament, just like I want to like when the European Tour or whatever the fuck, DP World Tour next year. I want to see like them like try like where you just take golf carts and see how fast you could play. Like, how about this? Like, no score, low score doesn't win. How
about we work on allowing rangefinders for all events and wearing shorts? I think those are 2 big ones that should happen.
Okay. All right. That's fair. I mean, yeah, carts probably is a little bit extreme. I'm saying it might be worth a shot to look into how much time we would save. Because like these guys, they're not going into the woods looking for their ball most of the time. It's like
it would definitely save time. It would definitely save
courses in like they play their home courses in like an hour and 45 minutes when no one's on. Hour and a half probably in 18 holes with the cart themselves. But take any top PGA Tour pro, any PGA Tour pro, put them on a golf course with a golf cart, nobody else on the course. I bet you they finish under 145.
Oh, yeah, for sure. They talk about all the time when they play these practice rounds or at home or whatever. They're playing in under 2 hours.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just a thought.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it won't happen, but yeah.
We're gonna have to roll the ball back. Watch the Masters roll the ball back, and Tiger plays the Masters until he's 70 years old, and he wins, 10 more.
But if they ever did roll back the ball, they would have to shorten the courses too, no? Would they?
Or they move up tees.
Yeah, sorry, that's what I mean. Like move up the tees a bit. But at the end of the day, even if they roll it back, the longest hitters are still going to have the advantage. So
nobody wants to see someone hit who used to hit it. Would you imagine watching Bryson hit it? How far would Bryson hit it with like a 80% ball?
He probably still hit it around 330, 320.
300?
Yeah, I mean, for the longest guys, it's not going to make any difference, to be honest. Instead of hitting maybe pitch and wedge to a lot of these par fours, they'll be hitting 8-iron.
I don't know. Do you remember when, I don't really remember because we started living in the Tiger era, but before Tiger, people used to hit longer irons in a par fours.
And I mean that's what's missing right now, right? It's
that's also what made Tiger so fucking good.
Exactly.
He was so good with hitting a 4-iron. Who's really good like that? Rory's really good like that. Rory
and I mean that's
launch the ball.
If things were still like that, then the top players rise to the top. You know what I mean? Like right now,
you think the top players would be different if the ball or if the equipment somewhere to change, or if it was kind of more okay, well,
not so much, not so much, to be honest. No,
I don't think so.
No, right now, no. I feel like the top players are the top players right now for a reason. It just highlights certain players that maybe, like you said, a Rory, a Tiger.
But at the same time, we kind of see that right now with Colin, right? Because Colin he's masterful with his irons. I mean, he's as good as
to be honest, he's not a bomber. So I mean, he is.
But I mean, that's what I'm saying. He's a perfect example of what we're talking about because all you got to do is be able to hit your irons close. I mean, you can obviously distance helps, but it depends on how you manage.
Mind you, he's also really accurate with the driver. He's not the longest, but he's accurate. So
he's not playing from the trees. Yeah. But yeah. So, anyways, Tiger, man. So what we do have to kind of talk about, which we're Tiger fanboys, whatever you want, fan men, whatever you want to call us. But we do kind of have to talk about, he got asked the question about what does he remember from the night of the accident? He goes into responds with, he already had a prepared answer. Obviously, it's in the police report. We're not talking about that, basically. That's what he said. We do have to mention that the day before his accident, he was live on TV looking this is right after surgery he had, right? He was on
probably a couple weeks removed, maybe.
Yeah, a couple of weeks removed, but he was still potentially taking medication, stuff like that. If anyone saw the picture, he just looks absolutely ridiculous, but I mean, we does he owe it to anybody to say what happened, or is that his business?
He definitely doesn't owe it to any of us. His family, maybe, that's it, or people close to him. But no, I think he answered it the way most people would have answered it in his position. He doesn't need to talk about it.
Do you think basically, do you think he was fucked up when it happened?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think he was struggling with.
Do you think pain, that was early in the morning too?
Pain meds at that time. And sure, he had just had a surgery. Plus maybe his back was acting up, and who knows, right? But I definitely think he was on some kind of pain meds. Yeah. And I feel like that was definitely an issue. And I feel like he's off them now. And for the most part. He has to be. I feel like this maybe
Is he off them?
Woke him up. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, you're probably not entirely, because you just had crazy surgery. Who knows, right? But I feel like you have to be careful with them, and I feel like he's at that point, right?
Yeah.
And
Do you
I feel
think, do you think at this point he hires a driver?
I hope so. Like, come on, and I'm surprised no one asked him that. Like that should be a given.
Well, that's another thing. It's like, well, if the PGA Tour had golf, institute golf carts, like Tiger's not driving that. We got to get it someone else to drive that. Yeah,
he's definitely not driving now. I don't think, with the leg right now. Who knows when it heals more? Hopefully he doesn't. But I mean, and to be honest, that's where the people around him have to come in and be like, listen, you're not driving. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it's every.
I don't know. I just personally feel this was a big wake up call in many different aspects, and yeah.
I mean, he's had several wake up calls, but this was definitely
is, like I said, those other ones weren't life and death. Well, I mean, the other incident when he got pulled over, blah blah blah, but that could have been. But I feel
and who knows, that fire hydrant could have really flipped this. Thankfully he was only going 5 miles an hour when he hit that fire hydrant back in 2009. But yeah, it's still, again, I don't know. Hopefully he gets his. I mean, the way he was talking about Charlie was cool, I thought.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big deal. And
to be honest, that's something that I'm so excited that we have to look forward to. Like, I really believe he's going to be a pro. He's going to turn pro, and I feel like he's going to be a great player. So, I mean, that's something that we have to look forward to, after Tiger's done. And yeah, that's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Like, I can just picture Charlie winning the Masters and Tiger there on the 18th, just like, you know what I mean? Like that. Like,
yes. Well, it's kind of hard not to, think about it like that, especially when what we're seeing, and also we're talking like, I mean, literally Charlie has the best teacher in the world. Like, it's like, that's, and if you're going to go to anyone for a lesson, it's probably Tiger.
And it sounds like he loves the game. So, and he's hooked.
Yeah.
I mean,
and it doesn't sound like it was a Tiger influence thing. I think it was more, I think it was more like how, I don't know, in the Earl Woods Tiger situation I know Earl was super tough on him, like when it came to golf, and like really regimented, but like, did he put a golf club in Tiger's hands and was like, this is what you're going to do? Or did he put a golf club in Tiger's hands and he was like, swing this. Okay, now this is what you're going to do.
Well, I don't know. I don't remember exactly, but I just do know that Earl would hit balls. Tiger would be in his high chair watching him, be glued to it, and just kind of.
Yeah, I don't think it was you're gonna.
I don't feel
you're gonna become the best player in the world. It wasn't something like that. It was.
I feel like after Tiger took a liking to it, and Earl saw what he had with Tiger in that regard, then I feel like Earl put the training on him. Yeah.
So, and we were talking about that, I think, last episode about like Little Richard and all that other stuff about, just the championship winning mentality, and Tiger is going to instill that in Charlie. And
well, he even said, remember in the interview, he's like, listen, son, like, and he said he's perfectly fine with Charlie getting mad and, after a shot, this and that, but the next shot needs to be the most important shot. Like, it needs to be more important than breathing, he said.
Yeah.
And that just shows, like,
Well, I was just thinking that I saw another clip. I think Taylor may post a clip, and similar to the just breathing thing. He was talking about how for him everything is a feel. So everything is calculated before he does it, and the way he kind of triggers himself is the putting to a picture or hitting to a picture, or doing something so that you're taking the mechanics out of it. And he's like, well, once I have all of the every bit of information that I need to process, can basically compute a golf shot in his brain, then to see it and then to do it, and when he says about doing it, he's like, once I have all of those facets figured out, all those pieces figured out, then it's just feel. And you know, and I think that's incredibly important, because like, you know, I mean, but at, you know, you take someone like Bryson. I mean, it's feel, but there's also like science. Like it's more science. It feels more science than feel based. But anyone needs feel to, you know, have touch around the greens or whatever. But I don't know. I mean, again, go back to Colin. I mean, Colin has a feel for the game, and I think that that's what you see when you see great iron players, because that feel is, you know, then translated into things like, you know, short game, and you know, and mostly pulling off like clutch shots at the moment. I mean, there was a time where there wasn't one clutch putt I never thought. It was almost like you always knew Tiger was going to make the putt.
Oh yeah.
You know, and that's not
there's only literally maybe a few times that I can remember that there was one that I thought he 100% was going to make, like say within 10 feet that he needed to make, and he didn't make it.
Right.
Like not many times.
Yeah. I mean, and it just goes straight. He used to will the ball in the hole, and you know, and I don't know if he's going to have that same. He's not going to have that same, you know, drive and determination. But at the same time, it's not like, it doesn't sound like he's going to hang him up and he's not going to play. I mean, it seems like he's that, you know, he's just going to have to do it another way. Like he's obviously not going to be able to put in the hours that he knows you need to put in, but he's just going to have to practice smarter. So now since we've heard like what do you think his schedule will look like potentially? Like what do
you have the majors, you have the players, that's 5. Possibly the tour championship if he were to qualify, that's 6.
Is Tiger auto exempt into tour championships moving forward?
No, it should be, but no.
Right.
That's 6. You maybe have 1 or 2 other events like the Bay Hill and Memorial, so 8 events, I'd say at most.
At most
8 events. Yeah.
I think that's a good.
And
I would just be happy with majors, man.
Maybe Hero and maybe Genesis, which I hope to God not Genesis, but since he's host. But I personally don't think Genesis should be on the table, to be honest. It's terrible weather there all the time. It's cold. He's host. Let him just worry about being a host, you know, and take some of the duties off his back, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be happy with him just playing majors, or you know.
I just feel like Bay Hill and Memorial, I've always been to tournaments close to him. He loves the courses. He's had enormous success there. I feel like those might be on the table, but I can't see more than that. I can't see any other events besides those.
I agree with that. Like I said, I think majors for sure, but you know, we'll see kind of how he progresses. I mean, he's hitting golf balls and he's getting better, and
he's played holes. He confirmed he played holes. So
his mentality of looking at things like 2 to 3 hours at a time was that's a crazy thing. So for context, basically Earl taught him some like method of survival, basically. Like this is like SEAL Team 6 training, and essentially you look at things in time increments as opposed to like days or months or years. So you break things down in smallest increments you can. So he started looking at things every 2 hours, every hour, every 2 hours, every 3 hours, and then once he gets through those 3 hours, then it's the next 3 hours. Then you know, then you kind of up it, then those accumulate. That's what he said, and it's just the mental fortitude of this man is, I mean, the highs and lows, like just like to be able to come back from something like this and have such a positive attitude. And who knows? I mean, you know, everything happens in life for a reason. Maybe this was how he's going to be a better person for humanity. I don't really, I don't know really what to do with it. All I know is like, I'm so fucking happy he's like just alive and, you know, still in our lives, to be honest with you. Right? So,
yeah, I mean, it's as shitty as it is that his career is pretty much, you know, you can honestly say he's gonna lose a good 10 years on his career.
more.
Well, yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, realistically, like a good high
Oh, you mean
at a
from
decent
his,
level,
yeah.
at a competitive
Okay.
level, like picture like a Phil, you know, Phil's in his 50s, still can compete high level, whatever. But like realistically, Tiger's gonna lose about 10 years at being at that kind of top level where he
Yeah,
could have been if his body held up. So I
sure.
mean, that's shitty for us fans, but at least we're gonna see him compete at some level.
Well,
You know,
but at the
here
same
and
time, he
there.
also has an opportunity to,
I'll do
I mean,
something insane.
coach his son into,
Oh yeah,
you
for
know,
sure.
following his footsteps. I mean,
Yeah.
like that's what's so cool about it is like, who knows how this story is it's gonna be some crazy, tale because Tiger's life is insane. Tiger's life is insane.
Yeah.
You
And I
know,
mean, who knows? Imagine him, imagine he wins another major. Like, that's fucking nuts.
honestly, man, if he feels like he can compete, he has a chance anytime he
Mhm.
tees it up at Augusta.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and sit in,
He
you know what
knows
I
the
mean? Like,
course. Yeah. For him, it's all about getting hot the 1 week when putts drop. He knows the course. Even if he doesn't have his best ball striking, he can
yeah,
kind of get it around. He just needs the putter to cooperate there. I think his short game needs to be spot on, and he'll have a chance there.
yeah, because he knows that golf course. Like
Yeah.
it's just he's got the feel of it. So enough of we're not saying Tiger is going to win the Masters next year or the following year. We're not saying that. We're saying that he's got chances of to really come back, and the fact that he's thinking about possibly playing the tour again, right? Like that's all we can ask for in this
Yeah.
situation. I mean,
The other one thing I want to point out that he said, which was pretty cool, was his allegiance to the tour. They kind of
yeah,
asked him about it, so he
yeah.
shot down all the Saudi stuff. He says, my allegiance to the tour. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's great. I mean, I think, and it's such a good example for everyone else. When he kind of speaks up and saying like, well, these are my views on where I want to be spending my time, or what is deserving of my time, as opposed to playing for Greg Norman over in the Super League. Hey, Tiger, you can have a golf cart. You can go play however many holes you want. We'll pay you. He's not going to do that. So, yeah, we're happy. It was just such a pleasure to see him again. And like we were saying, I mean, who knows what the next chapter is in this man's life. But we know that he's moving forward, and so are we. And he's hosting his tournament in Albany, the Bahamas. What is it? The Hero? They got a bunch of good players in the field. What is it, like 10 or 15 in the top, whatever. I haven't looked into much. I mean, Tiger's not going to be playing, obviously. But Dave, do you have any thoughts on the Hero? Did you look at a field?
Yeah, I'll watch it for sure. I mean, the field's stacked.
Yeah.
As far as picking a winner, I have no idea. I mean, I feel like at this point, it's like whoever's less rusty. I feel like a lot of guys kind of just enjoy themselves the last few weeks, month of the year. So I mean, a lot of guys just go there, they have a good time. It's beautiful there.
Well,
And I was actually thinking, I feel like somehow Tiger plays there next year or the year after. I think that's one place I'd rather go watch the Hero than another regular tour event.
Yeah, it'd
Just
be
because of the limited crowds. Like I know a guy that has been there, and he said you just get such good access. You get to see every shot up close. And I feel like that's somewhere, if you want to go watch Tiger play or any of those guys play, that's the place to go.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it'd be a great experience. Yeah, I mean, it's a stacked field, like we're saying, and Tiger's host, and we'll see what happens. But we didn't have any PGA Tour action this past week, but we did have the Bryson Brooksy match, which we want to quickly touch on. Brooks dusts Bryson, as we all heard. Was it like 5-3, 4-3,
4-3, I think
4-3, 4-3. and made Bryson look silly. Pretty hilarious.
To be honest,
did you see it?
Oh yeah, I watched it. Yeah, I made a wager on Brooks. So yeah, I mean, well, also the ratings just came out. One of the I think the lowest ratings ever for a match. So didn't do great in that regard.
Tiger wasn't in this match, no.
Or Phil. Well, Phil was the commentary, but yeah, Bryson played terrible. He says he was rusty.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's like, I haven't played in.
No excuses though.
Yeah, can't. I mean, that's the only excuse in the book is, I haven't played in 2 weeks. I'm probably, I'm going to be rusty.
To be honest, they both hit their driver like shit. Like, I don't think none of them hit a fairway, really.
Well, Brooks hit one or two.
Yeah, but I mean, there was a lot of times it's just
he was saying how much he loved his driver.
His iron. With Brooks, his irons were pretty spot on that day. And
well, I mean, I was just talking about the Brooksy dig on Bryson. Yeah. I love my driver, just throwing it in there because he was playing with his new irons. He was playing great, man. And I mean, it's like, Bryson's like, why don't, this isn't how you play on tour. And he's like, basically, fuck,
this is a major for me.
I was going to kick your ass anyway. So like, it just goes to show you, man, like Brooks is just a totally different person when he is mentally.
Well, he really wanted it to win that match for sure.
Yeah.
I feel like that whole thing is dead now. There's nothing, even if they got paired up in a tournament now, whatever.
I mean, Brooks did say he was like, I rarely play with Bryson. I've never played with
They've
Bryson.
never played. They've never
when we
played.
warm up together, we're on other sides of the range. He's like, this is the first time I had a chance to like see this up close and personal. And like, he's like, it's impressive. And Brooks isn't going to lie. It's impressive. I mean, hitting it the way he does and how he plays the game now, it's not going to beat Brooks in a match. I'll tell you that much.
I'm curious to see what they do with the matches going forward. I feel like maybe they need I feel like the team ones do better than the one-on-ones.
Yeah. Did you like Phil as an announcer?
Yeah, Phil's always good. Phil's good, and him and Barkley. Barkley was hilarious. Barkley had some awesome quotes during that.
Yeah,
that
when
match.
He's just like it's like golf is like one of the only sports that like you that allows you to drink because they know it's like basically
unbeatable
or something.
Yeah,
unbeatable. Like that's what he said. He's because
I love Barkley. Barkley was my favorite basketball player growing up. Like it was over Jordan. Barkley was my guy. I was a big Phoenix Suns guy. I had Barkley jersey, used to watch all the games. Like I was a big basketball guy growing up before golf, to be honest.
So like that was like the Thunder, Dan Marley, Danny Ainge,
Kevin Johnson, all those
Kevin
guys.
Johnson. Yeah, I remember that. Cedric Sabalas, I remember.
Yeah. And you see Barkley, you swing club, this and that. He's overweight, blah, blah, blah now. But back in his prime, he was a player, man.
Yeah.
Like he was an amazing basketball player. So
and both ends of the court, he's great.
Yeah.
Awesome. And he's got arguably as a Hall of Fame broadcasting career, the way he goes about things. And also his transformation in his golf game has been phenomenal to watch. I mean, there was a time it was like painful to watch what he used to do. So yeah, man. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun listening to Phil. I mean, Phil is ridiculous. I mean, once they started talking about like beta waves and stuff, it was just like Brooks is like, what the fuck are you talking about? Yo, Brooks laughing on the tee, like at Bryson, just like how he was just whipping him, was one of the best videos, clips I've seen. I mean, it's just like pure disrespect. It was great. I know this happened a little while ago. We didn't have a chance to talk about it, so. But yeah, Brooks wins the match, donates a whole bunch he won it after 9 holes. I thought it was going to be over after 8, to be honest. Won it after 9 holes. They did have like a long drive contest essentially.
Yeah, Bryson smoked that drive.
409. I mean, it took him like 4 tries to do it. But he did do it. And then they had a closest to the pin contest, and Brooks
Brooks
won
won
all
that
of
one.
those, I think. I think so. Yeah, it was a good performance by Brooks. It'd be
No, I think Bryson won one of them. Won the first par three, maybe. He stuffed it, but he missed the putt.
yeah, that's right, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. So we got Hero this week. We got Tiger.
What's next week?
A week. I don't know, man.
I think
we look.
Yeah, the PNC I think is the 17th. So
I think it's
probably...
the shark shootout is the QBE or whatever it is. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Whatever it is. When's the PNC?
17th.
December 17th.
Yeah.
So yeah, this would be the following week, and then yeah, it was like the QBE whatever shootout. But yeah, Tiger, man. I mean, I don't really care what the hell happened that day that he got in the accident. I mean, for me, I just want to see him recover, and if we could see him play golf again, we'd be very, very, very lucky and very, very fortunate. So, you know, that's really it. I mean, we wanted to just really hit on Tiger. So, but we're happy to see him with Charlie and see what happens with that. I'll see if he's back with the PNC. Dave, it's been a pleasure talking Tiger Woods. I mean, we got a lot. I feel like we got a lot of answers this past week with with where he stands. I mean, yeah, granted, he's not going to tell us the 100% the truth.
You maybe got 60%, but it's better than nothing.
But the emotion was real. Like there was real emotion. Yeah. Like that was all real for sure. Yeah. But yeah, happy to see him on the mend. We'll see what happens with it.
And he looks good. I don't know if you saw him in the pictures of just around
his arms.
Oh, he's jacked.
I mean,
yeah, he's jacked.
Yeah, I get that's from crutches.
Yeah, the crutches, right? But yeah.
He's like, it's like hard for me to get from one end of my property to the other. I mean, that's just his problem. But he did, and I loved how he said about his house. It's like, I built this house, through golf. I was like, oh, that's fucking brilliant. He's just fucking the GOAT. We love him. We're happy to see him progressing. And thank you, all of you, who listen to this and put up with our bullshit. Thank you for following us, subscribing, support us. Leave a review. Be appreciated. Dave, always a pleasure. Thankful for Tiger. Happy December, by the way.
Yeah, December 1st today.
Crazy.
Almost Christmas.
Crazy.
Get started on your Christmas shopping.
Holiday season. Yeah. Well, yeah. Who knows? Order things for your wife, and if they happen to be golf clubs that show up at your door, whatever.
See that meme going around.
So, dude, Dave, pleasure. Let's go Tiger. Folks, you've just been double crossed. We are out. Have a great week, folks. Later. Peace.